Hello, this is Monday, May 16th, 2022, and I'm Rick Hubbard, talking to you from my home in South Burlington, Vermont, about my effort to assemble a team to walk across America to advocate to fix our broken and deteriorating democracy. You might say, why? And I'm getting to be an old guy. I hit my 80th birthday last December, so I'm now entering my ninth decade. When you get to that age and you begin to say, well, how many years do I have left? We don't know the answer, but I do know it's a pretty small number. And the follow-up question is, with the time that's left, how can I spend it in some socially useful and beneficial manner? Hence the walk. I have long been passionate about fixing our democracy, involved in various ways over 40 to 50 years. And I'm discouraged that on my watch, our democracy has deteriorated and not been strengthened, despite a lot of effort along the way. We need to all do better. And if we don't, I think we're on track to possibly lose our democracy in the next few years. We could transition from our not terribly well working democracy to autocracy in 3 years. So I decided that with the time I've got left, I would devote what will be about a year and 3 months to start on the West Coast in LA the 1st of October, roughly, of this fall coming, and walk over the course of a year and 3 months to Washington, D.C., making stops along the way to tie in with local activists and their organizations in each state that are working hard to fix this and are making progress in ways within their own states. So I'll support local and state, and if there are national efforts to support along the way that are there, of course, we'll support those. To do this walk, it takes a whole team. It's not an individual effort. And if the walk is not effective in focusing on the problem, and instead things get focused on the walk, we won't have been as effective as I would like to be. So what we hope to do is lay out fixes that can be taken, encourage candidates to begin to talk about this issue, number one, and make it their lead issue, because it is blocking everything else that we do talk about in Washington. Our system simply isn't working as our founders intended at the moment, and most citizens realize it. So getting down to the logistics, they're pretty complicated and extensive. First of all, you need a team. In order to have a team for a walk this long, you've got to have a support vehicle. And you've got to have a website, and you've got to have a bunch of people helping both directly with you on the walk and in the background along the way. You need the support of national organizations that are all working on this issue. So I am in the early middle stages of trying to pull all that together. At this point, we have an RV. It's about a month old. It's not brand new. It's used. But the criteria was that it had to fit at least 3 separate individuals, sleeping-wise, within the RV. Within that framework, you want it relatively small, but you need to have storage space which is never enough, to take care of our needs while we're on the way. So I, after a lot of looking around and research, finally found a model that seemed to serve the bill. We have to walk through a winter, so RVs in winters don't do very well, so you need a so-called Arctic package as part of the RV construction. I finally located 3 that were available as possibilities of this model that seemed to work. None of them were anywhere near Vermont, in South Burlington, where I live, and I'm speaking to you now from my home. The closest One was in Oregon, one was in Florida, and one was west of Chicago in Illinois. Only one of the three had the winter RV package. So that was Chicago, or at least a little town called Atkinson. So I flew out and things worked out. The RV checked out, so I purchased it. And after a day or so getting to know it, because I'm a newbie to RVs, I drove it back to Vermont. Once here, we've been slowly trying to outfit it and get it ready. Meanwhile, other pieces that have to come together are a website, and there's a woman named Joanna Cummings who is working on that website. She's a longtime acquaintance friend, and she does this for a living and is doing this project for me and us around the edges, nights and weekends. And we're getting close, but we're not there yet. And as soon as we do get it up, that's when people will be able to sign up to be part of the walking crew and the team that we need. And we can go on from there. In addition to that, we have to transform this RV from its current look into a messaging board for the walk, wrapping the RV. Some people know about wrapping vehicles. I didn't happen to, so it's been a learning experience. So we are working through with a local company the messaging, and they are in the process of proposing a model of how it will look, and then we can shop that around to people who are interested in the walk for suggestions, comments, and then finalize that process. So all these things are coming along. They're getting closer. Meanwhile, there's plenty nationally going on to justify the walk in lots of ways. So we will try to put a team together to effectively link the stories of people that we meet along the walk to problems that they're having that are caused by the structure and financing of our political system in ways that isn't serving citizens. And we'll propose fixes and talk about them. So that's a quick introduction. The intent is that over time, this will become, once the walk actually starts, a daily video about where we are, what we've done, what we've encountered, and you can follow along if you choose. Meanwhile, this will only be a periodic video, and this is just the first effort. So until we meet again and talk again, goodbye.